For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing. But to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise. The intelligence of the intelligent I will frustrate. Where is the wise person? Where is the teacher of the law? Where is the philosopher of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God the world through its wisdom did not know him, God was pleased through the foolishness of what was preached to save those who believe. Jews demand signs and Greeks look for wisdom, but we preach Christ crucified, a stumbling block to Jews and foolishness to Gentiles. But to those whom God has called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God.
Christians and the Christian church will always be on the losing side when it comes to human logic and wisdom. Christianity will never win the PR battle, since its message is confronting and challenging. There are probably two types of people who will be drawn to Christianity: those who want to confront sin and evil, and those whose lives are broken. There is almost a sense in which the world says, show me the spectacular and powerful, and we will believe. For that is the way of humanity. The spectre of a suffering and dying God in no way looks powerful, attractive, or spectacular, but rather flies in the face of human expectations and logic, and borders on utter foolishness. Paul is well aware that the message of the cross is foolish to those who are headed for destruction. To the great minds of Paul's day, the message of the cross didn't make sense and defied the logic of the philosophers and the great thinkers, as it does today. Human wisdom has limited capability, for it relies on the intellect and the limited capacity of fallible and sinful humanity. Paul uses the quotation from Isaiah to show that God is far and above the capacity of humanity. I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and discard the intelligence of the intelligent. In the final analysis, God will leave those who refuse the message of the cross to their own fate. We are living in an age of cynicism and disbelief, and latest statistics clearly indicate a rise in those claiming they are atheists. Many are only interested in what can be scientifically proven and demonstrable in the here and now. Yet the reality is that with the increase of atheism, there is a rising interest in the world of the esoteric and spiritual. The latter is clear evidence that there is part of humanity that seems incomplete and points to a yearning to find that missing link. It is the way of humanity to brand as foolish or stupid that which it cannot or will not understand. While ever people persist on this path, they are headed for destruction. It is only those who have the courage to commit to faith that can encounter the world of the Spirit. It is they alone that can know and understand the power of the cross, and there is a sense in which God has made the wisdom of this world look foolish. Only those who have exercised faith in the message of the cross and accepted the salvation that the redemptive death and resurrection of Jesus offers, that can truly know the very power of God. One of the obstacles all preachers face is the knowledge that their message will sound foolish to the unbeliever. However, it is this very characteristic that releases power in the message, for it acknowledges the preacher's own weakness and total reliance on God. There is reassurance here in Paul's word that God has used our foolish preaching to save those who believe. In today's world, Christianity is under attack on many fronts, and the atheistic academics of our day spare no energy in belittling and disparaging the message of the cross. The reality is that it is the foolish message of the cross that holds the solution to many of this world's problems. God calls all people to himself, but it is only those who respond to this call who become his own holy people. And those called by God to salvation know that Christ is the power of God. The truth is that today's world would attack and destroy the message that holds its salvation. Much of the Western world has become permissive and over-tolerant with the evil that surrounds us, and at times will view evil as good. Who can sound the depths of sorrow in the loving heart of God, for the children we've rejected, for the lives so deeply scarred? And each light that we've extinguished has brought darkness to our land. Upon our nation, have mercy, Lord.
Who can sound the depths of sorrow in the Father heart of God? For the children we've rejected, for the lives so deeply scarred, and each
reality is that it is the foolish message of the cross that is more readily accepted by those who have less of this world's material things or this world's academic achievements. Paul acknowledges that few of you were wise in this world's eyes, or powerful or wealthy when God called you. There is a simplicity and fundamental essence about the gospel message that allows all people to be part of God's great salvation plan. No one is excluded, but it may well be easier for those who have less of this world's material things or this world's academic achievements to connect. Christians need to take on board and accept that in the eyes of many, their faith and their way of life is foolish, and some minds we are unlikely to change. There is a sense in which we cannot be overly concerned about these people. It may well be that one day the Holy Spirit may enlighten them. That is our prayer. However, there remains many in this world oppressed and disadvantaged, to whom the message of salvation will bring true hope and liberation. May I dare suggest, these people need to be our priority. It may well be that as we come out of this pandemic, Christians and the church congregations need to refocus and see millions in this world that need the good news of God's salvation. Soldiers of God, arise, the day is drawing nearer. Shake the slumber from your eyes, the light is growing clearer. Sit no longer idly by, while the heedless millions die. Lift the blood-stained banner high, and take the field for Jesus.